Okay, so Nakamura starts off with NF3. It looks like Nakamura may have been shooting for this. Also, I just see on channel 165, Sandro says Nakamura's rating is now 2802.5. Not bad, but it seems to me that 2800 is becoming a more of a crowded club than it used to be. I mean, it seemed to me when there was one guy at 2800 that made sense, but now there's like four or five guys over 2800. That seems to be too much for me. You know, it just feels like too many people over 2800. So Karjakin plays this crazy line. Um, in this position, D5 is a possibility if Black is a Grunfeld player, and it could lead into Grunfeld's like this regular exchange Grunfeld, or it's possible that in this position White could go here and Black can get into some sort of Maroxy bind position. I mean, I would have picked over those. I remember a long time ago those Queen B6 positions. I remember playing over games and thinking to myself, man, I don't want to play that stuff for either side. So he does this. And now I was just looking at games. Look at these. If you look up this position, you get a real history lesson. Uh, Bizgeier against Petrosian. Let's see. Bizgeier against Petrosian is pretty cool to look at. Furman Petrosian. Bizgeier Petrosian from 1954. Furman Petrosian from 1955. Smyslov Matulovic. Tal Ivkov. Korchnoi Ivkov. Pomar Leboyevich. Shmekel Leboyevich. I mean, Bishop C5, it's old theory, but it seems to me some games from Tarjan from 1981, Hulak played it many times. So Bishop C5, then Bishop back to E7 is something that should be considered an alternative. So instead, we get the Queen B6 craziness. And now we're in the serious book with this move. Now, there was a game that I saw where the guy went queen takes, king takes, and then a perpetual happened with knight knight c7 and queen a5 and whatnot. So that was an interesting one. But what Karjakin did, I mean, I think Black can play this way. And we liked Karjakin's play. And now, I think with John, I think we did pretty good in this position. We looked at what happened way before it happened. But the suggestion, and we used the computer at this point, was this. And then I think it was D5 takes, bishop to G7, and amazingly, the computer evaluation was just slightly better for White. Karjakin had to go for this. Once he didn't go for this, he was just lost. So something like that was necessary, and I'm sure a lot of the people will analyze it, and we'll get to see what the situation with this is. So instead, he keeps some of his pieces, but once he had to go in for it, he had to. And I analyzed this with John, and we just thought that this position was lost now. First of all, there's no b5 because the bishop takes b5. So knight takes f1 must happen. It's important to hit this. Gives the knight back for a pawn. Takes another pawn and hits f7, d7 with a tempo. And rook to d1, just threatening this, forcing bishop e7. And rook to here. Now, John was suggesting h5 somewhere, but and the point was to stop to threaten h4, but I don't think that there was ever time for it because this one is over now, and he's just going to double on this pawn or go knight takes d7 straight out. And of course, the winning line would be check here, this, or takes check here, this one. In either case, getting the bishop up the exchange, and it's a total wipeout. So, because of that, after rook to f3, king there takes, very nice, check, and he resigned. It's obviously going to be rook takes here, and on here, this move wins. Pretty nice game from Nakamura. After his Gibraltar tournament, where Hikaru got 8.5 out of 10 and took clear first, playing in pretty good form, we would have to say, and continuing to play well here. Very interesting tournament from Nakamura. Now, I'm not sure what his colors will be for tomorrow, but he always seems to have problems when he's black against Aronian. So if he were to have white against Aronian, I think that would be a big help for him. So his last two games are against Anand. Now, Anand is black today, so and I'm figuring that Anand probably has white tomorrow. And so maybe Anand has white tomorrow against Nakamura. So that could be the pairing, and that should be a pretty good game because I think that Nakamura has sometimes disrespected Anand a little bit, especially after Anand lost his first match to Carlsen. Some people thought that maybe Anand should just retire, and sometimes I thought that was a little bit overdone. So that could be a very good game tomorrow with Anand having white against Nakamura. Also, it looks like Nakamura is going to be in clear first. I mean, Vichy is playing pretty well today against Fabiano, but even so, looking at it, I think that probably Vichy, I don't think he's going to win this game. I mean, a draw could be a result here. His position is very active, but he has to be careful because he is down the exchange.